Hi, good evening, everybody, and a big welcome to all of you in our today's webinar on SPL for September attempt. My name is Sir Hasan Dossani. I hope you guys are doing well. All right, so are you able to see my screen in which you see SBL and all those things? I just need a confirmation. Perfect. Okay. All right. So it is a 2-day webinar. It is today and tomorrow. But I have increased the duration. My previous webinars were 3 hours per day, but this time I have made it 4 hours per day. And we will have a break after 2 hours, a 30-minute break. And same format tomorrow as well, 4-hour session with a mid break. And the recording of this will be uploaded on YouTube after, I guess, 2 or 3 days. All right. So just let me resize my screen so that I'm able to see your comments. Yeah, looks good. Okay. So what is our strategy for these 2 days? So I have selected some topics for this webinar. And those topics are really important for your attempt. It is stakeholder management, environmental sustainability, integrated reporting, and few other topics if time allows. Why did I selected these particular topics? Because last week there were 2 technical articles published under SBL. Yes, you heard me right. Last week, 2 technical articles were published for SBL. One is called Responsible Leadership, and the other one is called Environmental and Sustainability Issues. So when I read those articles, I have picked up these 3 topics which have been touched upon in those articles. So I thought that these might be super important topics for this attempt, and I should talk about it in more detail. Of course, we will cover all the technical articles like these 2 which I discussed. We will also go through the articles. I will talk about exam techniques, professional skills, formats, and I will give a study plan for the last 2 weeks for self-study students. All right. So in today's webinar, I have got my paid batch students as well as all the self-study students as well. Before we proceed, we will be following the CBE approach. We will be using the CBE platform. Regarding previous webinars, all topics is not possible for me to cover in this limited time. So if you want to do a good coverage of the entire SBL, you will have to watch some of my previous webinars. Okay, this is particularly for self-study students. For self-study students, you must also watch my previous webinars. Which one exactly? You must watch my September 2021 webinar. In September, I actually focused a lot on covering the topics. So it was less practice and more theoretical topics. So September webinar will help you revise the important topics of SBL. Then after that, you can watch my December 2021 webinar in which I solved a full case study. It was called NEBI. So I solved a full case study. So you will get a very good idea of how to solve a case study, SBL case study. And the question which I solved was NEBI. Even my paid students, you can watch this to get an idea because NEBI is something which I don't do in my paid classes. For my March, and then after that, you can watch March 2022 attempt, in which I solved yet another full SBL past paper. It was called TT for You. My paid and self-study students both can also watch this. All right. So this, if you do these three things, it will really give you a strong base for your September attempt. All right. Some people who are seeing any problem in the hearing or the sound quality, please log out and log in. Now this slide is very important. How to ask question. So this session is all about answering your question. Excuse me. Guys, please make sure you are muted all the time. I repeat, please make sure you are muted all the time. All right, please do not unmute yourself. Please be very careful on this. How you can ask questions? You can ask your question by typing your question in the chat box. So if you see a chat box, you just type your question in the chat box, but please, your question should relate to the topic under discussion. So whatever slide is being discussed, your question should pertain to that slide. If you ask me any questions outside that topic under discussion, I will not be able to answer. For any other questions, please hold your question, and towards the end of the webinar, like last 15 minutes, I will allocate to full Q&A session. Okay. All right. Brief introduction of myself. I'm sure most of you are aware of my introduction. Professionally, I'm a fellow chartered accountant. I've did a lot of other certifications. I'm working as a CFO for last 10 years, and I'm a CFO in a Dubai-based insurance company. Yeah. Regarding my teaching experience, I've been teaching students since last 20 years. I've taught like 6,000 more students. I teach at Vifhe, and this is my 8th or 9th SBL webinar. I have conducted a lot of ACCA webinars as well. The most important thing is this one. This is my personal or WhatsApp number. Please save it in case you don't have it, so that you can remain in touch with me. Divya, don't nothing about June 2022. Okay, don't just follow the webinars which I have mentioned. Also, I manage a global WhatsApp group. It is free of cost. If you guys are not member of my global SBL group, then please message on this number, and the person here will send you the link to join my SBL group. Okay. If you're already member of any of my SBL global groups, then it's okay. All the previous groups are active and valid. But if you're not member of any group, then please join this group. All right, SBL pass rate. I have been talking about this in various orientations, this and that. You are already familiar, so I will not speak a lot. In the last 4 attempts, SBL pass rate has been consistently 50% to 51%, which is very good. I hope that in our September attempt, this trend continues. SBL is very, very different. And I've also spoken about this on many occasions, so I don't want to repeat the stuff. I'll just quickly go through that. SBL is one integrated case study. This one is very important. It is the longest paper, which means that it's a 4-hour paper, and that means that you need to have physical stamina and mental stamina, emotional stamina, in order to keep concentrating straight for 4 hours. So you have to build the right stamina. for SBL, and the only way you can build the stamina is doing actual time-based mocks, time-based practice. Yes, Wasim, absolutely correct. You will get mentally and physically exhausted, especially the last hour. It's crazy. So you have to practice straight 4 hours, at least 3 papers, so that you build up that stamina. Also, there are 20 professional skills marks out of 100. So 20% of your question paper will consist of professional marks. It is easy to get. The good news is that the professional marks are very easy, very structured. If you know the technique, you should be able to score 13 or 14 marks out of 20 quite easily. So I will talk about professional marks tonight. Less emphasis on models. There are various formats, reports, briefing papers, memos, presentation slide, blah, blah, blah. You have to be very, very hands-on and familiar with all these formats. So I will cover all the formats tonight. And lastly, 25 to 30% of your paper is common sense. So it is a question which does not belong to any particular chapter. It is just common sense. So this is good news for some students and bad news for some students. So better, you have to uh, uh, think smartly when doing the paper, when you're handling these questions. All right. Now, this is very important. Why students, they fail SBL? In fact, when I was talking to one of the SBL examiners, they suggested that, I should always talk about the reasons before I start any lecture. So students should know beforehand what are the risk areas, where they struggle, so that when they are preparing for SBL paper, they exactly know what to do and what not to do. Right, but I have been talking about this slide in all my orientations and sessions. So again, I will not spend a lot of time. I will just quickly go through this. The first most common reason is answers are not linked with exhibits. Students, they often give theoretical or general answers. There is nil marks for a theoretical or general answer. All your answers have to be in light of the exhibits provided to you. The second one is merely copy pasting materials from the exhibits without adding own comments or explaining why the point is important or relevant. So because of the CBE paper, you can easily copy paste material, paragraphs from your case study onto your answer sheet. So what, some smart, brilliant students, what they do, they just copy the entire exhibit and paste it on their answer sheet, and they move to the next question. You think the examiner is stupid? You are just reproducing the entire exhibit to him. You will not get marks. So please, just copy pasting is allowed. It is in fact encouraged, but you will have to add your own comments, your own thoughts as well, right? You have to tell the examiner why you are talking about this point. Why is it relevant? Okay. Now, point number 3 and point number 4 is the most common reason. So I will highlight in a different color. This one, overspending time on one particular question. This is the most common reasons I have faced in a lot of my discussions with students, that students during the paper, somehow they tend to spend, extra time on one particular question. And most of the time that is question number 1. So obviously you have to, manage your time. So if you spend Like if it is a 45 minutes question, and if you spend 65 or 70 minutes on that question, can you tell me what will happen? So if it's a 45-minute question and you spend 70 minutes on that question, and it is your question number 1, what will happen? So if you overspend the time, automatically you are hijacking the time of your next questions, and in the end, you will run out of time because you overspent time on some other question, and in the end, you will not be able to complete the paper. Simple logic, right? If you spend like 20-30 minutes extra on some question, you will not be able to complete the paper. You will miss out maybe 10 marks, 15 marks, 20 marks paper. So that's point number 4, not completing the entire paper. So these two are related. So you have to be very, very careful that you strictly follow time management. You do not spend extra time on any question. If it is incomplete, it is incomplete. You move on to the next question. So I will discuss this in greater detail tomorrow under exam techniques. Okay, but just keep in mind that time management is extremely crucial if you want to pass SBL. And then other than that, it's the routine thing: poor technical knowledge and professional skills knowledge, insufficient number of points according to the marks, students not doing practice or mock on the CBE platform, weak typing and formatting skills. All these are very common reasons, but the first four are the do or die reasons. The next 4 are still manageable. All right. Any questions on this particular slide? Good. Sorry, guys, I was fasting today, so I need to eat something. So I'll just try to grab something in between while teaching. Umair is asking to what extent we can copy paste from the exhibit. You can 50%, you can copy paste, like 50% of your answer is copy pasting, and then the rest 50% is explaining those things. I think 50-50 is a healthy mix. Okay, now this slide is very important, and this is a technique which has really worked. Okay, and when I speak with students who score good marks, like 65 and 70, 75 marks, when I talk to them, all of them, they tell me, sir, we applied this particular technique and we were able to score 65, 70, 75. Now, what is this technique? So SBL is a different paper, right? It is not like your any other ACC paper. So you just imagine, just think that SBL is a boardroom paper. You know what is a boardroom? Board of Directors. So it is a boardroom paper. The ACCA guys, they want to prepare you through SBL how you can sit in a boardroom. Okay, so it's a boardroom scenario. It's a boardroom paper. Obviously, after a few years when you qualify and you will grow in your career, ultimately you will become a finance director or a CFO. And these people, they sit in the board. They are part of the senior leadership of the organization, right? So just when you are doing SBL, you should think like you should feel like a CFO, and you should think like a CFO. And do not think that you are a student. You think that you are a CFO. And who is your audience? You are talking to the board of directors. You are talking to the chairman. You're talking to the CEO. You're talking to the marketing director. You're talking to the HR director and IT director and production director. This is the people you are sitting with. And they're all non-financial people, obviously, right? Marketing director, HR director, they are non-financial people. You are the only one with financial expertise, but you have to talk to them in a layman language so that they understand. This is the mindset required when you are attempting SBL paper. This is the mindset required when you are thinking and drafting your answer. Remember, your audience is senior people, senior leaders. They are non-financial, so you have to be simple, logical. Do not think like an accountant. Do not think like a student. They are too small. What is the name of the subject? Strategic business leader. So you have to upgrade yourself, feel upgraded, feel like a CFO. And the moment you start practicing this mindset, automatically you will feel that your confidence will rise and your thought process will open up. All right, this slide is very important psychologically. It will give you a real boost. Yes, Fazal, you need to watch this one because there are technical articles which have come, which I will cover, and I'm doing some new questions here. All right. Okay. This is another quick slide. I have talked about it in most of my orientations. So this is not applicable for first-time students, but if you are giving SBL for the second time or third time, whatever, if you're a research student, just to, from your marks, you may be able to guess what's wrong. So those students who obtained less than 45 marks in your previous attempts, definitely, you have weak technical knowledge, you have conceptual issues, your basic concepts are not clear, or you gave general answers, your answers were not linked with the scenarios, or you excessively use models unnecessarily. Okay, you are the best judge. I am just giving you some reasons for students who score less than 45. Vasi is saying, sir, you say that SBL paper is majority general. I never said that, Vasi. SBL paper is never general. It is a case study paper. One question is general in the sense that it does not come from any topic, but the rest of the questions do require some basic concept like pestle, porter, ITs, online business, HR, corporate governance. You do need, concepts. Concepts has to be clear, right? Now, for those students who obtain 45 to 49 marks, this shows that you had good technical knowledge, but you failed due to insufficient practice or mock exams. Maybe you are weak in drafting, maybe you weak linking with exhibits, maybe you did not focus on professional skills or insufficient number of points. And sometimes people who fail on 49, it's pure bad luck. Okay. This is just a slide for food for thought for research students. Okay. Let me go through chat box. Yes, Hasan Shahid is saying, sir, I got 45, only watched your webinars, and major reason is lack of practice. Yes, Hasan, here you go. This is what I'm saying, that if you watch my webinar, this and that, you might be able to get in early 40s. You need to practice a lot if you want to pass the paper. So for SBL, what is the secret formula? You spend 50% time on theory or lectures or concepts, and you spend remaining 50% time on doing mocks. That's the split, 50-50. So Hasan, you probably spent like 70-80% time on your theory, and you spent like 10-20% time on practice. That's why you got stuck at 45. Remember the split, 50% time on theory, 50% time on practice. Are you guys ready for SBL question solving? Not yet. Not yet. So first of all, let me quickly take you through various formats. So, almost the entire paper is full of format. Each and every question requires you to prepare a format. So the faster you can prepare the format, the better from a time management point of view, right? Nuha, don't ask questions not pertaining to the slide. I will cover this tomorrow. The most common format is report. And this is the format you have to give. You will write report in the center so that the examiner can clearly see it's a report. Then there's a to, there's a from, there's a subject, the date. Date, I prefer that you put the exam date. Then there will be an introduction. And you can give a 2-line introduction by saying this report, and then you can copy paste from the question. And then from here, your actual answer will start. And towards the end, you will close the report by saying sincerely or best regards and your role. That's it. Please memorize this format, okay? I will just erase all these things. Very simple format. Is conclusion or recommendation required? Conclusion or recommendation is not required unless specifically asked in the question. Is that clear, guys? So my paid students, you are very familiar with all this because in our live class, we have been doing lots of report, right? Excuse me, Abdul Rahman Hussain, do not ask any irrelevant question on the chat box, please. Okay. Fazal Rahman, I just answered your question. No conclusion. Under exam conditions, you will not be able to manage the time if you start getting involved in conclusions. Abdul Rahman, please refrain, okay? Jamesa is saying, should we put our role and not our name? You are not allowed to write your name anywhere in the paper. The moment you will write your name, you will be disqualified from that attempt. Just your role, okay? Your role. Yes, Zahur, it's all right. I will show you a letter format as well. There are so many formats, so it doesn't matter. Zahur, it's up to you, guy. There is report format. There are 10,000 formats, right? I'm just trying to give you a very simple report format which you can manage in the exam. If you look at examiners formats and articles and past answers, he has also given so many different formats. So up to you guys. You want to make your life simple, just pick up one simple format and stick to it. All right. Think like a CFO, boy. Think like a CFO. CFO never gets stuck in stupid formats, right? Okay, move on. Now, there's something called a section of a report. When the examiner says draft a section of a report, that is the most simple format. You just give the broad heading on your answer sheet, section of a report. You may give a small introduction, and that's it. And from here, you start typing your answer. Khalas. That's it, nothing else. Maybe pani de dena. Pani. All right, section of a report is very simple. Not Shri, not in a section of a report. Section of a report is an extract. A should be capital. Doesn't, again, don't ask stupid questions, man. My God, I'm telling you to think like a CFO. And you're asking me A should be capital or non-capital. Amazing guy. All right. Briefing paper, briefing note, or memo. Now, these are three different things which the examiner has asked repeatedly. Sometimes he says, prepare a briefing paper. Sometimes he says, prepare a briefing note. Sometimes he says, write a memo. All of them have the same format. You see, just whatever is the requirement, you give the respective heading. Very simple. To, from, subject, date. If you want, you can give an introduction heading, this briefing paper, and sincerely. Then your role. Exactly same like a report. So what is the difference between a report and a briefing paper? Nothing much. Just that a briefing paper should have small size points with headings. The purpose of a briefing paper is to be informative and factual. So briefing paper has to be brief. A report can be more elaborative, but a briefing paper should have more headings and smaller paragraphs. Just that, there is not much of a difference between a report and a briefing paper. Yes, Prajna, optional, you can, up to you. Yes, Alia, up to you. It doesn't matter. Yes, honor. In that case, if you are given a particular name in the scenario, then you can use that name, but do not give your name, okay? Okay. Again, there is a conclusion or recommendation not required unless specifically asked. Sometimes you are required to write an email. Very same, you give a heading email to, to, from, subject, date, this email, blah, 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 like the opening sentence, then your answer will come and a closure. All right. Your speed should be so fast in the format, because whatever time you do save on making formats quickly, you will have more time to solve the answer. If you are slow in making formats, you will lose precious time. So you have to be very, very hands-on, very, very fast in preparing the formats. Galaxy, I just explained what is the main difference between a report and a briefing paper. Did you hear that? Now, presentation slide. This is also very common. Okay. A lot of students are asking where you can get this handout. I will share this handout on my global WhatsApp group, okay? And on my paid groups as well. So that this will be very handy for you, right? These things are also there in my ultra summarized notes. So if you have my ultra summarized notes, all the formats are there as well. Presentation slides is not difficult because in your CBE platform, there is a separate option for presentation slides, and there will be a box given to you. So in the box, you will write the headings or the bullet points, right? And where you will explain these points, outside the box, there will be something called supporting notes or accompanying notes. There you can type you can explain each point as paragraph outside the box. So inside the box will only be 3 bullets, and outside the box, you will explain those. It's just a different way of presentation. So the presentation slide is usually bullet points, and supporting notes or speaker notes or accompanying notes is where you will tell the examiner, what you have in mind. All right, but in your CBE platform, it is already given, so it's just you need to type nicely. It's all right, Galaxy, no worries. How you can get access to the WhatsApp group? I think I had given the number in the start. You may have missed it. So towards the end, I will again share the number, how you can join it. All right. So presentation slide. Again, a letter format. Letter has been tested, I think, only once. So not a big deal. You give a heading letter, and then here you will give your name, like your role, who are you, date. Here you will write the details of the the addressee, subject, salutation, opening sentence, body of your answer, and closure. Okay, so you can have a look at it later on. Now there's something called a press release or a website release. Again, this has been tested only once or maybe maximum 2 times. What is a press release? Press release is that when a company, they make a public announcement in the newspaper. It's a press release when they share their thoughts or their point of view in a newspaper, public announcement. What is a website release? Same thing, when they publish something on their website for the general people to read. So press release and website release are basically, the target audience is the general public. So the format is, there'll be a heading like what this press release is about, followed by the name of the chairman or the CEO, the name of the company, and the date of the release, and opening sentence, and then your answer, and then the closure. Okay, it is a little bit different format than report and all those things. So please, someone asked when was the last time press release was. I think it was a long time back. Yes, Kobu, it's possible. All right. Now, a business case. Now, business case is a very specific topic. It is under project management. So under project management, you may be asked to prepare a business case. So we just give a heading business case, and then there are 3 broad headings: current situation, proposed option, and benefits, pros and cons of the proposed option. This is the simple format of a business case. I don't think it has been tested so far, but it's not too complicated, right? Lastly, there's a project initiation document. This has been tested once or twice. Again, it's a technical document topic. It comes under project management. So a project initiation document has several components. So these are where the contents of a project initiation document. It consists scope and objective, cost and benefit. Then you need to talk about project sponsor, project manager, project team, key stakeholders, duration, key risks, constraints, project governance, monitoring. You can also add key assumptions if you want. Again, it's a technical thing, so you will need to watch my previous webinars if you want to understand this topic in detail. I just gave the format so that you can recall once you're revising the format.
Don't worry, let me see. I have some cash.
Excuse me, please keep your phones mute. Ifyoma.
Sorry. Sorry.
Now, this one is very important. Very important. In all your paper, you get this kind of question. Almost every attempt, there will be one question or two questions which says, identify the weakness and give recommendation. This is the key word. And give recommendation. You have to do two things. You have to first identify the weakness, and then you have to give recommendation. So in this kind of a question, I would always suggest that you use a tabular format because it will simplify your answer. It will give some structure to your answer. On one side, you talk about weakness. On the second side, you talk about recommendation. Okay. Even if it's a report. So let's say you have been asked to draft a report identifying the weakness and recommendation. You can include a table inside the report, no problem. Because this is a very nice presentation, weakness, recommendation, weakness, recommendation. Okay, I prefer this format. Similarly, there might be a question where you might be asked to identify the key risks and suggest mitigating factors. Again, whenever there are two requirements, identify the risk and give recommendations or mitigating factors, please follow, tabular format. Very, very important. So guys, any questions on the formats? If it's your first attempt, I'm sure it will take you a little bit of a time. But if you are a research students or you are my paid students, it's not very difficult. You will get all you need to do is practice. Practice, okay? And it will become very easy. Let's move on. Are you guys ready for the SBL question now? Not yet. Can anybody remind me professional skills marks? How much is it? How much is professional skills marks? 20 out of 100, yeah? What percentage of your paper is professional skills? 20%. Your paper, 20% is professional skills. So if someone asks me, what is the most important topic or expected in the paper, I say professional skills. Because A, it's guaranteed, it's there. B, it's 20 marks. I don't call them professional skills. They are not professional skills for me. I call them, what do I call them? Cash marks. For me, they are not professional marks, they are cash marks. Okay. So the good news is there are 5 professional skills. Okay. Very well structured and well defined by ACCA. What are those things? Evaluation skill, analysis skill, communication skill, commercial acumen skill, and skepticism skill. Is that clear? So all you need to do is just understand each of them so that you know what to demonstrate, how to demonstrate those particular skills to grab maximum marks. Another good news is that you don't have to demonstrate all the professional skills simultaneously. So in each and every question, the examiner will specifically tell you which particular skill you need to demonstrate. For example, question number 1, he will tell you demonstrate evaluation skill. So that's it. Then you just focus on demonstrating evaluation skills. Khalas. In question number 2, he might ask you demonstrate communication skill. So then in that question, you just demonstrate communication skill. Forget about everything else. So it's very easy. The examiner specifically tells you which one you need to focus on. All you need to know is how you can demonstrate it. Okay. So let's talk about evaluation skills first. Evaluation skills. Evaluate means pros and cons. That's it. Although there's a very big definition and blah, 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 in simple thing, when the examiner says demonstrate evaluation skill, you just make sure that when you are evaluating a proposal, so let's say there's a proposal, okay, there's a proposed strategy. So when you are asked to evaluate, then you will have to evaluate both pros and cons, the plus points, the negative points, because your evaluation should be 360-degree, because based on your evaluation, the board will take decision, right? So you have to give the board all the aspects, either positive or negative, so that they can take the right decision. So whenever you are supposed to demonstrate evaluation skill, just make sure that in your answer, you include both the positive points and the negative points. Is that clear? That's condition number 1. Now, does the positive points and negative points have to be in equal quantity? Like, for example, if I'm supposed to write 8 points, so 4 should be positive and 4 should be negative. What do you think? You see, it doesn't have to be equal. It should not, it will never be equal. It could be any ratio, right? It all depends on, what do you say? The availability of the information in the scenario. So sometimes there are more pros and very less cons. Sometimes it is more cons and less pros. So it doesn't matter. It's not it's not supposed to be equal. So if you're not finding it equal, do not stress. Okay, just go with the flow. Forget about the mix. Just make sure that both are included. Right? The third thing is, sometimes the question says critically evaluate. And what does that mean? Questions, the board is asking you to critically evaluate. Now, yes, when the question specifically says critically evaluate, then you have to find more faults, more cons, more negative points. Okay, you still need to give 1 or 2 positive points. That's fine, but the focus should be more on identifying negative points. But if the question is silent, it doesn't say critically evaluate. It does say evaluate. Then you just go with the flow, with the availability of the information, but just make sure you touch upon both pros and cons. Okay. Now, Parat is asking a very interesting question. Would the table look good? No, no table here. Okay, just headings. Don't give tables of pros and cons. That's kiddish. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Any questions on evaluation? 4 marks is on evaluation, just by mentioning pros and cons. Any questions? So number 1, you have to mention both pros and cons. Condition number 2, they don't have to be in equal quantity. Condition number 3, if it says critically evaluate, then you focus more in identifying the negative points. Easy? Okay. Yes, you can, Rishan, no problem. Now, analysis skills, another very interesting thing. So, as I said, evaluation skill is generally for proposed strategy, any proposal or things like that. Analysis skills is generally asked when any financials is given, any reasons for variances needs to be talked about when you have to analyze the performance. So analysis skill means investigate reasons for variances from the exhibits. Identify the root cause of an issue. Identify reasons for variances or root causes. So, okay. Very simple. So the board wants to know the reasons, right? So I think you have studied ratio analysis. So when you calculate variances, then you have to explain the reasons behind those variances. Correct? Just a minute, guys. So analysis skills, you need to identify the reasons or the root cause, and where you will find all this, it will all be mentioned in your exhibits. All you need to do is investigate and then bring it on your answer sheet. Let me give examples. Let's say the company's revenue has gone down by 20%. So I'm the CFO. I am presenting the financials to the board, and you guys are directors. And I'm saying, guys, our revenue has gone down by 20% this year. What question will you ask? What is the first question which comes to your mind as directors? Why, right? Exactly. You will be actually, if you will be furious. Revenue going down is really bad. How you will explain this to the shareholders? So the first thing you will ask CFO is, what are you saying? Why the hell the revenue is down? What went wrong? So the word why is analysis. Okay. So when you will ask me why, I will then have to explain to you why the revenue went down. Now tell me, Now give me 3 reasons which may lead to fall in revenue. Think. I give you type 3 reasons which fall in revenue. Loss of customers. Okay, people are saying loss of customers. I'm just picking up one. Loss of customer. All right, wait. So one reason is staff turnover. Okay, you guys first write, and then I'll pick up stuff. Right. So let's say loss of customers. So if I'm the CFO, and when the board asked me why the revenue went down, and I told them loss of customers. What will you ask me? Yeah, I'm telling you, we lost customers. You are satisfied? Again, you will ask, why did we lose customers? So when I said the revenue is down because we lost customers, are you satisfied with my answer? You shouldn't be. Because the next question is, why the hell we lost customers? Now, what are the possible reasons why we can lose customers? Maybe our prices are high, or maybe the economy is going bad, their disposable income went down, they're not able to afford, maybe the quality of our products have gone down, maybe there are better alternative products in the market, maybe there are cheaper Chinese imports, maybe our product is becoming obsolete, seasonal, whatever. This is the root cause. Do you understand the meaning of root cause? Just saying we lost customers is not enough. You have to actually satisfy or convince the board what exactly is the reason, the root cause. Then you will get analysis mark. Another reason people said was our revenue may go down because of competitors. Explain that. I will say we are lost revenue because of new competitors. How? Yes, so James is saying because our competitors are taking our customers away. How? Why our customers are going to our competitors? What is the reason? Root cause. Root cause. There may be 10,000 competitors, but why the hell my customers are moving to them? Are they more sexy? Are they more cheaper? Are they better quality? Is their marketing better than us? If you feel like a director, you will just, grill me on this. Got it? Just a minute. Forget about Pestel and Porter, Baba. Who's this? Sarah. One of the most common reasons why students fail is they try to forcefully use models. You think the board is interested in models? I mean, you can mentally think about Pestel and Porter points. You can think about political reasons. You can think about economic reasons. You can think about competition. Your thought process will definitely work on that. But your drafting, you are not supposed to use models unnecessarily. Okay. Use this. Please mute, guys. All right. So are you clear on analysis skills that you have to identify the reasons or the root cause? And the reasons will definitely be given in the exhibits. Definitely will be there. Okay. So what about customer satisfaction? You know customer satisfaction? So our customer satisfaction survey went down. Any possible reasons why customer survey goes down? Just a minute, guys. Keep coming, keep coming. These are the reasons. So the more, if you're able to explain the reasons, identify, go drill down towards the root cause, that's analysis skills. So do you understand the difference between evaluation skill and analysis skill? Evaluation skills is pros and cons. It's more about futuristic or pros and cons, proposed strategies. And analysis skills is finding out the reasons of something which has already happened. You understand the difference, right? All right, let's move on. Are you ready to move on? Let me just clean this a bit. Now, communication skill. Nothing needs to be done. You just need to use appropriate formats. Keep in mind your role, general layout, and tone of your answer. So I told you that the entire paper consists of formats. So if you want to score high on communication skill, give very nice, presentable formats. Your visual appearance of your answer, the reports, the memos, the emails, whatever is required, should be very professional. And then you have to keep your reader in mind who you are addressing the report, right? Your general tone, the way you are explaining, that's it. Nothing extra needs to be done. Just focus on nice professional presentation, nice professional formats, visual. Your answer script should look very professional and presentable, fit to be presented to a board of directors. That's it. And this will only come through practice. Okay. Another one, commercial acumen, is very simple. A lot of students, they struggle here, but believe me, nothing needs to be done here. Just don't talk like an accountant. That's it. Just don't talk like an accountant. So if the question is about IT security, and you're talking about IT security, that's it. You will get commercial acumen marks because you are talking about IT security, which is not a finance thing. So you understand commercial or non-finance things. If you are talking about e-marketing, that's it. You are automatically demonstrating commercial acumen or commercial knowledge because e-marketing is not part of accounting. So all you need to do is when you are demonstrating that you know more than accounting, like you know about customers, you know about IT, you know about marketing, you know about HR, you know about project management, you know about corporate governance, you know about risk management, you know about controls, integrated reports, all those big things. That's it. That's commercial acumen. So again, you don't have to really do anything extra. Just focus on the question and just answer the question. If it asks you to do identify the risks, just identify the risk and you will automatically get commercial acumen because it's not an accounting topic. All right, very simple. Isn't communication skill important throughout? Absolutely, yes, Ali Abbas. So far, we have talked about 4 skills, right? Evaluation skill, tell me, easy or difficult? Now, who's this guy? Unmute, please. Oh, sorry, mute. God, David. So tell me, evaluation skills sounds easy or difficult? Easy or difficult? Yeah. Analysis skills. What you know what to do? Just identify the reasons or the root cause. Easy or difficult? Analysis skills, you understand what to do. Communication skill, do you know what to do? Just give the nice formats throughout the paper. Keep your role in mind. Keep the target person in mind. That's it. Easy. Commercial acumen, just don't talk like an accountant. Again, whatever is the requirement, e-marketing, risk, technology, project, just answer that question. Automatically, you will get commercial acumen because it's a non-accounting question. Easy. But I think skepticism is difficult. So 4 out of 5 was easy. And skepticism, I feel, it is difficult. Skepticism, can anybody tell me what is the meaning of skepticism in plain English? Auditing mind? No, you're automatically talking like an accountant when you say auditing mind. Questioning mind. Yeah, exactly. Doubt. You doubt, probe, challenge. Very good. Mind of a wife. Yes, so my wife, she is very, very questioning. She asks questions. She's not dumb. So when she wants to verify if I'm telling the truth or not, she will ask me cross questions just to assess whether I'm saying the truth or not. She will ask for some evidence, some logic, some details. Yeah, absolutely. Got it. So, as CFO, tell me, you think a CFO should have a questioning mind or he should be a dumb, always saying, agreeing and always saying yes, or he should have a questioning mind? CFO must have a skepticism. He should have a questioning mind because, yeah, he's smart cookie, right? He has to be street smart. he should not be dumb. So skepticism, when I counter question, I can judge, I can assess what he's saying is correct or not. I can disagree with facts and figures. I should not be rude, and I should have my own logics and argument to disagree based on facts and my own assessment. But skepticism skill is very important. The more senior you go, you control things by asking questions, right? Very good. So how can you demonstrate skepticism skill in your answer? How can you demonstrate skepticism skills in your answer? By by simply when you ask couple of questions in your draft, it's skepticism. So it's just you need to change your drafting, deliberately ask or put one question mark. Keep in mind that when the skill says skepticism, you will have to put one question mark, at least one question mark in your answer. And you can also use the word I disagree. These are the two most common things, or it's inappropriate. Yes, negative tone. Okay, so these are the things. Adopt a questioning tone in your answer using words like I disagree, or it seems incorrect, or it's not clear, should be further investigated, it's not appropriate. So these are those things which shows that you disagree and you have some questions. Yeah, just try to put, most simple technique is try to put one question mark in your paragraph. Is that clear? Okay, so sometime it happens. One more thing on skepticism, that the question is like 15 marks, 18 marks, 12 marks. So you don't have to be negative throughout. Okay, you don't have to be negative throughout. In maybe one or two areas or one or two points or one or two paragraphs, you can ask questions. Okay, you don't have to be negative in all the things. Any questions on professional skills? Are we done? Using skepticism while writing to chairman or CEO will be a tough job. Yes, absolutely correct, Ali Abbas. So I think only once there was a question in which you had to disagree with the CEO, but generally you have to disagree with other fellow directors. I don't know, Pritesh. It depends on what kind of scenario there is. Anyways, are we guys all clear on professional skills? 20 marks, 20% of your paper is professional skills, yeah? Done. Okay. Now, another very big component to prepare you for your exams is exam techniques. But I think I will not cover exam techniques today. Otherwise, you guys will just blast off. Already too much new things I've covered today. So tomorrow I will start the session with exam techniques. So please don't miss tomorrow's session and join on time. Okay. Now, the important thing. Technical articles. Just a minute, guys. Mm, 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 mm. Where? So technical articles. So in the last 1 month, like in the month of July, suddenly these guys, they published two technical articles for SBL. One was called Responsible Leadership, and the other one was called Environmental and Sustainability Issues. So both these were published like last week, okay, end of July. If you go a bit before, so these 6 articles were published in the last 18 months. So please ignore them. Don't worry about them at all for this attempt. Forget about them, okay? Just you need to focus on these 2 articles. Is that clear? Yes or no? Is that clear? Yes, Sanvi, are you there? Sanvi, is it clear? Okay. So so I have read the article. So you guys don't have to read the article now. Just follow me for next 10 minutes and you are done with the article. Okay. And no need to read the article. You will get really confused. It's a difficult topic. So just let me simplify your life for you. So the first article is called Responsible Leadership. Can anybody guess? Okay, let me hide. Let me hide this. Tell me, what do you mean? What do you understand by the word responsible leadership? Or okay, forget about it. Forget about responsible. What do you understand by the word responsible organization? I work in an organization which is very responsible, ethical, very good, accountable, take care of customers, accountable, they take care of people, shareholders, no. Stakeholders, yes. Ethical, responsibility, stakeholder management, customers, answerable to stakeholders, really. Sustainability, transparency, again, DS, stay away from models, okay? Why theory? I don't know what these are. Okay, so you can feel when I say responsible organization or responsible leadership, you can feel what it means, like it is a different level. Is that correct? So a traditional organization always used to focus on shareholders and profitability. That's it, khalas. If you go like 10 years, 15 years back, 20 years back, all businesses, they existed just to maximize profits for the shareholders. So all their strategies, all their focus was to maximize, make money for the shareholders, 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 shareholders. Now, with the passage of time, people realize that that's being selfish, that's being bitchy. Making just money at the expense of others, that's not ethical. So then people thought that it's not just shareholders. Organizations should consider other stakeholders and not just shareholders, correct? So that's the foundation of responsible organization or responsible leadership. So a responsible leadership means that the chairman, the board, the chairman, the CEO, and the board of directors, they are collectively the leaders of the organization. They should be responsible in a good sense. Now, what does it mean? So a responsible leader or a responsible organization, what do they focus on? These are the 4 things which you need to memorize. Number 1, they focus on multiple stakeholders and not only shareholders while making strategies. That's the first and foremost difference, that a good organization will always take into account the key stakeholders and not just shareholders. Now, key stakeholders includes employees, customers, suppliers, governments, society, environment, all those things. So that's the first and foremost difference, that a responsible leader will consider multiple stakeholders. They will also focus on the social responsibility and contribution, social aspects. When we talk about social aspects, employees, like example, employees' health and safety, creating job opportunities in the society, indulging in CSR activities, corporate social responsibility, like giving donations or sponsoring university students or beautification of the city, all these social things. Also, a responsible leader or a responsible organization will focus on environmental sustainability. All these, earth related things like pollution, recycling, wastages of scarce resources, waste management, green, all those things. Environmental sustainability should also be one of their priorities when making future strategies. So social contributions, environmental priorities, multiple stakeholders, and last but not the least, a responsible leader and organization will also focus on ethical and moral behaviors. They will not adopt any strategy which may be unethical or immoral, even though it will increase my revenue, even though it will increase my profits big time. But if that strategy is unethical or immoral, we should let go of such strategies, right? So be honest and truthful, pay fair taxes, and so these are the key 4 components of a responsible leader. Can you repeat with me? We'll focus on multiple stakeholders, we'll focus on social initiatives, we'll focus on environmental initiatives, and will always be ethical and moral. These are the attributes of a responsible leadership or a responsible organization versus a traditional shareholder-focused organization. Are you guys clear? Yeah, good corporate citizens. Very good. Nice word. Now, what is the benefit? What is the benefit of becoming a responsible organization? Don't you think, let me ask you a very accountant question. Don't you think that indulging in social responsibilities, indulging in environmental, paying money on donations, don't you think it will increase my costs? Don't you think it will reduce my profits? These are all costs. So then what's the benefit of all this if ultimately my profits are going to shrink? What do you think? Long term. All these initiatives are long term. How? Yes, exactly. slowly and gradually, it will enhance your reputation. It will take time, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, but slowly and gradually, if you are a responsible, ethical company which take cares of all the stakeholders, which take care of the society, who take care of the environment, it will definitely enhance your goodwill, your reputation. Yeah. And once your reputation is on the rise, obviously, it will improve staff morale, leading to increased efficiency and greater staff retention. You'll be able to attract good talent. Your customers, suppliers, and investors would like to associate with such organizations, and long-term growth in profits and the value of the company. These are really big things. The key word is long term. Once your reputation builds, you will have a unique edge over others. People would like to work for you. Customers would like to stick with you. Suppliers would like to work for you in cheap prices because they want to associate themselves with your brand. It's all about image and how you want to be seen, and competitive edge. Very good, Ritika. And ultimately, it will give you comp edge. So, would you be able to remember 3 or 4 benefits? So, what are the 3, 4 attributes or those things you must remember? And then, what are the benefits of being a responsible leader? Easy. The last thing. Where do accountants fit in? What is our role in all of these things? Very simple. First of all, accountants, at some point in time, you will hold a leadership position, right? So, for example, I am the CFO of my organization, and I'm also a non-executive director of few more companies. So, I am already holding a leadership position. So, when we talk about responsible leadership, so finance accountants do hold senior positions. So when you hold senior positions, you must be aware of what it means. Secondly, so accountants, they hold responsible positions. Then as a CFO, you ensure the company is not focused on financial objectives only. Only is the word. So I'm not saying do not focus on financials. Don't get me wrong. Do not focus on financial objectives only. Do not make the company pure money minded. Then you are just a traditional company trying to maximize profits for the shareholders. All right. Your KPIs. Okay, let me move on. Implement KPIs focusing on qualitative aspects as well. So your dashboards, your targets, your objective should be holistic, not just financials and profit related. For example, you can have KPIs relating to stakeholder satisfaction, like customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction surveys. You can, have social targets that every year we want to do this much for the society. Like I want to create this much amount of jobs, or I want to sponsor like 5 university graduates, or you offer internship programs for the society. Then you may have targets for environmental impact, like you might want to measure your carbon emission. You want to minimize your use of energy, of solar and all those things, and also ethical decision making. So as a finance leader, this is your role in a responsible leadership, that you make sure that the company is not just focusing on numbers, it's other aspects as well, other stakeholders as well, social, environmental, customers, employees, society. Ah, easy peasy. So don't read the article, otherwise you will get a shock of your life. It's not that easy if you read that article. Okay, but just focus on this. Just remember these 4 attributes of a responsible leader. What are the benefits of being a responsible leader or organization? And what, as an accountant, how you can contribute towards this thing. How the question will be asked in the exam? Honestly, I don't know. Uh, I honestly don't know. But just remember, the word responsible leadership. What are the attributes? What are the advantages? Long term, yeah, long term. That's the key word. It has to be, let me write. That's important. And what's your own? Okay. Again, 6 capitals. Yes, Rukaiya. Integrated reporting. So now a lot of things are linked to it. So when it says stakeholder management, that's the topic which we will do after the break. Stakeholders. Then tomorrow I will talk about social and environmental activities. I will talk of tomorrow about integrated reporting. So all these things are now linked to this article. Okay. Even tomorrow's article, which is environmental and sustainability issues. It's all, this article is basically a continuation of responsible leadership, right? So I will cover all this tomorrow. Okay, guys. So are you guys tired? Or we can continue for another 15 minutes? Very good. I'm impressed with your stamina. Okay, let's do 15 more minutes. Then we'll take a long break. I need to take my dinner because I was fasting. I haven't eaten anything. And then we will do a very good question on stakeholder management. Okay, so let's revise stakeholders topic. All right. I think 15 more minutes max. Stakeholders. We all know what is the meaning of stakeholders. Yeah, stakeholders are people who are either involved in the company or interested in the company or affected by the company. Do you think shareholders are stakeholders? Or shareholders are one of the stakeholders? Yes, shareholders are one of the stakeholders. So that means there are many other stakeholders. So guys, can we break our stakeholders into 2 categories for simplification purposes? Internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Okay, just to simplify the argument. Can you guys give me, Ramzeen, please stop Ramzeen, okay? MCCP. Can you guys give me 3 examples of internal stakeholders? Time starts now. Employees, board of directors, management. Yeah, management and BOD is almost the same. Shareholders, yeah. Trade union, interesting. Trade union is a good one. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. NEDs are directors. Okay, board of directors is there. Don't get into ED or NED. It's collectively the board of directors. Pressure groups are external. I'm right now asking about internal stakeholders. Okay. Let me show you. So this is a very simplified list, which I have put together from an exam point of view. So internal stakeholders, shareholders, the board of directors, and employees. Just remember these three. And you can also add, okay. Now, in a charitable organization, sometimes, so this list, uh, so this list is for a commercial organization. In a charitable organization, you might see something called board of trustees. So they are also internal stakeholders, just the name is different. So in a charitable organization, there will be board of trustees. Underneath the board of trustees, there will be a board of directors or management board. And also in a charitable organization, additionally, you will see volunteers. So it's just not employees, but you might also see volunteers. So guys and girls, can you remember this list from exam point of view? How many are there? How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So from an exam point of view, just memorize these 6 most common internal stakeholders: shareholders, board of directors, employees, trade unions, board of trustees, and volunteers. Any questions on internal stakeholders? Okay. Aren't trade unions employees? Yeah, so trade unions is internal, right? So trade unions are external? No. Trade unions consist of internal employees. So if it's an internal trade union, then yes. If it's some external trade union body, then it's external. Wait, guys, do not start your own discussion on the chat box, please. Now give me 5 examples of external stakeholders. Make it 4. Customers, very good. Suppliers, very good. Government, very good. Society, that's nice. Society. Banks, lenders, yeah. Pressure groups. Tax authorities, okay. Media, okay. Auditors, okay. Competitors, press, service providers. Debtors, what do you mean by debtors? Customers, right? Debtors are customers. Public, yeah. Society or public or community. Natural environment. Venture capitalist is external. That's subjective. Venture capitalists are shareholders, right? They buy shares of your company. They have an ownership stake. So shareholders are internal. Investors, well, potential investors is external. Once they become an investor, they become internal because they buy shares. Donors, very interesting, donors. All right, guys, stop. Stop. I'll show you the list. From an exam point of view, stick with these 6. So I gave you 6. You got 6 internal and let's say 6 external stakeholders. Who are they? Customers, my suppliers, government or any regulatory body, including tax authority. You can talk about society or community or public. They're all the same thing. And additionally, in a charitable organization, you might also see something called beneficiaries. Beneficiary means the people who are benefiting from your charitable activities. Like if you are running a school, then the students are the beneficiaries, right? Because in a charitable organization, you may not have customers. You might have beneficiaries who are availing the services or the products of the charity organization. They are called beneficiaries. And of course, in a charitable organization, you will see donors, because charitable organizations largely depend on donations, right? So it could be corporate donor or individual donors, but doesn't matter. But these are external stakeholders. So again, the list can be long. For example, there can be bank, there could be auditors, there can be pressure group, there can be media. But from an exam point of view, just try to remember these 6 to simplify your life and, do the time manage. Don't miss out on the time management aspect. Are we very clear on the internal and external stakeholders who are the most common ones? So this list is the most common and safest from an exam point of view. Is this clear? Please, can you stick with this list and memorize this list? Because the next question which we will do, I want you to stick with this list. All right. Now, how do we treat them? So let's say these are 12 stakeholders, 6 internal, 6 external. Okay. As an organization, should we all treat them equally? Should we treat all our stakeholders equally? No, man. It's not realistic. It's not practical. It's not possible to treat all my stakeholders equally. So I need to differentiate between various stakeholders, and powerful stakeholders, I need to treat them differently. Weak stakeholders, I need to treat them. So basically, there's a model which helps you decide. So the model is called Mendeley Stakeholders Matrix. So this guy Mendeley, he has given us some tool in which we can identify or not identify, distinguish, or we can break our stakeholders into 4 groups. We can break our stakeholders into 4 groups. How? Based on the stakeholders' power and based on shareholders' level of interest. Is this clear? So these are the 2 very important things. We look at the power of that stakeholder and we look at the level of interest. For example, the power, how do you define power? Power can be any kind of power. If they can, shut down the company. Imagine if the trade union is so powerful that if they go on a strike, we will be screwed. That means they have so much power, right? That they can bring us on our knees. But if it's a very small trade union with few employees and I don't really give a shit about them because they can do nothing to me, then their power is low. You understand? High power, low power. Similarly, institutional shareholders or a major shareholder or venture capitalists, they have a lot of shares, right? A major shareholder, he might have 60% shareholding, or institutional investor, he might have 50% shareholding. High power. Individual shareholders, 500 shares, 1000 shares, low power. So power is subjective. You need to assess whether these guys can close us down. Government, high power. They can screw us. What about customers? Can the customers screw us? Customers may not be able to, no. Individual customers can screw, yes, depends, very good. Individual customers can screw us, definitely. But, if, individual customers cannot screw us because they are too small. But if they combine together, if they boycott our products, then we are screwed. Or if there's a major customer, if they screw us, we are gone. So subjective. So normally individual small customers, they have low power, but if it's a major customer, or when the entire group of customers, they go against us, they can become high power. Collective power may be high, individual power may be small. So you need to study that scenario to decide. So you understand power high or low. Similarly, interest high or low. So some stakeholders will have a very high level of interest. For example, employees, they will be very much interested in the company's performance, company's activities, because their jobs are dependent, right? So they have high level of interest. But media is not a shareholder, is just, stupid pain in the ass. They might have a low level of interest as compared to my employees. Even my customers sometimes may have a low level of interest. They are not interested in our company. They are just interested in our products. You see? Right. So it's the concept of high power, low power, and high interest, low interest clear? So based on power of interest, based on power and level of interest, we can break or classify our stakeholders into 4 categories. They are called key players. What is a key player? A key player is a person who has high power and high interest. They can be keep satisfied. Who is keep satisfied stakeholders? Keep satisfied stakeholders are those stakeholders who have high power, but they are low interest in the company. Low interest in the day-to-day affairs. Okay. Then there is keep informed. Keep informed are those stakeholders who have high interest, but unfortunately they have low power. And then there is minimum effort, where they have low power, low interest. Is this clear? Now, let's look at this list. Let's look at the internal stakeholders. Where do you think employees and volunteers can go? Employees and volunteers in a normal organization, where do you think? Keep informed. Very good. So the employees individually, they have less power, right? Maybe collectively they might have high power. It's subjective, but generally, employees is part of keep informed. Volunteers is part of keep informed. Even most trade unions, if they don't have crazy powers, they are part of keep informed. Is that clear? Now, where can we take major shareholder? Let's break shareholders into 2, major shareholder and minor shareholder. Oh, sorry, let's talk about simple thing first. Board of trustees and board of directors, they will always be here. Board of trustees and they are always the key player, okay? Because they are the one who have high power and high interest. They are the one who take major decisions. They are the one who are running or driving the organizations. Please keep in mind, board of trustees and board of directors generally are coming under key players. Okay, because they're running the company, right? Everything has to be They are the key players. Without them, the company will not work, will not survive. You need board of trustees and board of directors. Okay. Even now, major shareholder. If it's a major shareholder can be a key player, or sometimes a major shareholder can become here. If they are not involved in day-to-day activity, major shareholder, institutional shareholders. So, okay, let's remove major shareholders from here. It might get confusing. So major shareholders, institutional shareholders, even what about government? You have to keep government satisfied. Of course, whatever government laws, taxes, you have to really satisfy them, because government has high power. Even major shareholders, you have to satisfy them because they have high powers. So we talked about shareholders, employees, trade unions, board of trustees, volunteers, customers. Where do you think customers should go? If it's a major customer, like a really major customer, then you have to make sure they are keep satisfied. Because a major customer has high power, right? So you have to make sure that they're happy. If it's like small or individual customers, then you just keep them informed. You just, is that clear? Suppliers, again, you know, between keep informed. So majority of the stakeholders are keep informed. Only board of trustees, board of directors may be key players. Only government, large customers, large suppliers, large shareholders are satisfied. Majority are keep informed, and some people here like media, very small shareholders, like 500 shares, 100 shares, stuff like that. Society and community. Society and community probably is here. Okay, because or society community maybe keep informed as well. It depends how much involved you are with the society and community. So either minimum effort or keep informed. Pratibha, you have raised your hand. Do you want to ask any question?
Yes, sir. So, so the small customer should they not come under minimum effort?
You can, if you think that they have no effect on you, then you can put them minimum effort as well. So between minimum effort and keep informed, you can put this, you can decide where you want. There
Thank you,
is
sir.
no, there is no one fixed box. Okay, it can keep on moving depending on the scenario, the case study. So just your argument has to be according, wherever you feel it's comfortable, you put in there and then explain to the board why minimum effort or why keep informed. All right. Pressure groups, you guys tell me. What do you think? What majority pressure groups will fall where? I think minimum effort. I'm not going to waste my company resources in pressure groups. I think minimum effort. Or if they are really, really big and really, really pain in the ass to it, then I will keep them informed, or I don't know. But generally, these are all minimum efforts. Keep informed. Okay. Right, guys. So do you understand? These are the 4 categories of your stakeholders. This one is very dangerous box. This box is very dangerous. We do not normally put a lot of people here. Okay. The second dangerous box is this one. Again, we try not to put a lot, of people in this box. It's all major ones or governments. And majority of my stakeholders will generally fall here: employees, customers, suppliers, even to have some extent society, and whatever is remaining will fall here. Do you understand? Again, it is subjective, but you have to be logically correct. Okay, you put yourself in this situation and then think. So this is the topic of stakeholders management. Who are stakeholders? What are internals? Who are internal stakeholders? Who are external stakeholders? And how can we manage them? How can we treat them? These are the 4 things based on power and interest. Now let's take a break, 30 minutes break. Okay, and then I will do a question. We will be doing basically March-June 2021 called NCCP. Question number 1 after the break. Please open up your CBE platform. In the break, please open up your CBE platform. Past exam library, go to this question. And after the break, we will start with this question. I hope you had a good break because it was a 2-hour session. Now, our next target is to do this question. So please open up your CBE platform, past exam library, March-June 2021. Okay. So those of you who don't know how to open up your platform, just sign in into your log into your my ACCA, and then you can Google ACCA CBE platform, and you will arrive at this screen. Log into practice platform. I'll just do mine. Yeah. So I'm signed into my CBE platform. I hope it's there. Yeah. Nope. Okay. I just signed in, and I just went to CBE practice platform. You can Google it as well. It says log into your practice platform. I will click it here. So on the right, select strategic business leader, ACCA official resources. First one, past exam library, and we will be doing March-June 2021. It's already assigned, so I'll go down here. March-June 2021, this one, resume. All right, so this is how your screen will look like when you will open up the CBE platform. Okay, so for those of you who are doing this for the first time, here is a list of exhibits. You will click on any of the exhibit and it will open up in a fresh window, and you can increase the size, the width, the height of the window. Okay, you can close it. And then here are the tasks, task 1, task 2. Tasks are basically the questions. Okay, and then followed by response option. There's a word processor, there's a spreadsheet and slides. So for SBL paper, you will use word processor only. And if there is a slide or a presentation required, then you will use slides. No need to use spreadsheet. Okay, even if there's a financial calculation or something, you no need to use a spreadsheet unless you are an expert in Excel. Otherwise, you will lose precious time under exam time management. So please open up. Let's read the question first. Task number 1. So we will be doing question number 1A. So I will open up question number 1. So I just want your attention here. So look at the standard format. So every question, so question number 1A, There will be a background or a story. This is the story. Then this is the technical requirement, 16 marks. And then the professional skills, 4 marks. You see, there are three parts or three components of a question in your SBL paper. There will be a background or a pre-story, a background about the requirement, then technical requirement with its own marks, and then professional requirement, own marks. So collectively, this 1A is 16 plus 4, 20 marks. Okay. If you look at B is also that, it is a technical requirement is 10 marks, followed by professional skills requirement, 4 marks. So B is 14 marks. So right now we will be doing just question number 1A, worth 20 marks. So let's read the background. The executive board has become concerned at negative coverage about NCCP in the local press, as well as feedback from staff and volunteers, expressing concern about the direction the charity is taking. It is therefore seeking advice from you as to the most appropriate way forward. That's the background of the requirement, that there is some negative coverage in the local press or media. The staff feedback is also showing some concerns, and hence the executive board is seeking advice from you as to the next way forward. Okay. Prepare a report for presentation to the board. Prepare a report. So what's the format? Report to the board. Okay. Which A, assesses NCCP's internal and external stakeholders and recommend appropriate ways of managing them. You have to assess the stakeholders and recommend appropriate ways of managing them. Do you think there are two requirements? We have to first identify / assess and then recommend ways to manage them. I think these are two requirements, right? Recommend. You remember tabular approach. Whenever you are supposed to recommend something, so a tabular approach is more safe, although not mandatory, but I think it's more faster, easier, safer. Okay. Let's look at the professional. Professional skills marks are available for demonstrating analysis skills. But if you read further, the examiner will always give you a hint of what you need to do under analysis skills. Demonstrating analysis skills in carefully considering how different stakeholders can be most appropriately managed. Well, nothing big deal there. We have to analyze carefully considering how different stakeholders. So as long as you are able to identify the different stakeholders from the scenario, and then you're able to comment how we can manage them or how we should manage them, khalas, you will get easy 4 marks of analysis skills. How? By just identifying not the root cause, but identifying various internal and external stakeholders from the scenario and how to manage them. So reading this extra bit is also very important because the examiner actually tells you what he is expecting from you to do what. Is this clear? Very, very important. The format is report addressed to the board We have to identify and assess internal and stakeholders of NCCP and recommend blah, blah, blah. And we have to demonstrate analysis skills by carefully considering how different stakeholders. So all we need to do is identify and talk about how to manage them, and you are done with the professional marks. Nothing extra needs to be done. Are we clear? Can I have a yes or a no, please? Everybody, please. Everybody. It's very, very important that we understand, we read the question 2 times or 3 times, read it properly, understand it properly, plan it properly, and then we attack. Okay, so I'm very clear. I know the format, I know the technical requirement, I know the professional skills. So now the first thing is, let's make the skeleton. Let's make the skeleton of your answer. I always prefer that my answer template is ready. And then when I am reading the exhibits, I can quickly copy paste various things there. So let's open up the word processor and we will make a report. Okay, so let me now look very carefully. I am reducing this window. Okay. I'm opening a word processor. I am reducing this. So now both of these windows are parallel. You see? Do you understand this? Both these windows I have placed in parallel. The requirement and the word processor, so that I can quickly copy paste. So what is the first thing? You will have to write the task number. So task number is task 1A. Okay. Now, what is the format? We need to write a report. So I will write report to from subject date introduction and best closure is best regards. Okay. And what is our role? I don't know. You understand the format? Report to from subject date introduction and the closure. 2. What do you write in 2? Tell me, guys. Who should be the report addressed to? Correct? Board, huh? You can write BOD, you can also write executive board, or just stick to the word board. From, what is our role? What is our role here? So your role is generally mentioned in the first exhibit. So, okay, so if you open the first exhibit, your role will be mentioned towards in the last paragraph. So in the first exhibit, last paragraph, it says you are a management consultant appointed by the executive board to provide independent advice to help address the difficulties NCCP is facing. So we are basically management consultant. Okay, so let me copy this Control C from Control V. I will just make it capital. Also, I will copy management consultant. I will go down best regards and closure. Management consultant. Subject. Now, very interesting. Subject. So can anybody tell me this report covers part A and part B? So are we supposed to include both part A and part B in the same report? Can you guess? Or is it the report only for part A? What do you think? Both? How do you know it's both? Yes, if you look at the indenting, no Shahzad, it's a common thing. If you look at the indenting, this P, prepare a report which A and then B. They're all in the same line. You see P and A and B. So I'm pretty sure it's a report for both things. Right. So now you have two options. Either you prepare two separate reports, one report for 1A, and then you make another report for 1B. But I think that will be a bit time consuming because now you're making two formats, right? The other option is we can combine A and B in one report. Let me show you how. So I will just say task 1, report to the board for management consultant subject. So the first requirement is stakeholders. I just copy it here. And the second requirement is sources of competitive advantage. So I just write. So I just picked up the keywords from the requirement. So the subject is stakeholders and competitive advantage. Stakeholders from task 1A and competitive advantage from task 1B. What is the date? Okay. Introduction. I will write this report and then I will copy from here. Assesses and Control C. Assesses NCCP's internal and external stakeholders and recommend of them. This report also, and then I'll copy from here. Critically assesses NCCP sources of advantage. So my introduction is finished. This report assesses blah, blah, blah. This report also critically assesses. I just copy pasted from the requirement. I will close it. Now time to make. So now what will be the next heading? Internal stakeholders. Then there will be external holders, and then will be sources of. So there will be three broad headings, agreed? So we are supposed to assess the internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, and the third one is assess sources of competitive advantage. So I just gave three broad headings and then followed by a closure. This is my skeleton. Do you understand, guys? So first of all, I wrote question number. I said report. Then I gave two from subject date, introduction. I copy pasted the introduction. And then I actually gave broad headings for my, body of my answer. And then the closure. Are you guys clear? I'm coming to it, Aman. Are you guys clear? Because there are many students. So my paid students, you are already aware of all this, right? We have been doing all these questions. But for students who are not my paid students and they are attending this for the first time, it's probably helpful for them. Now, time for beautification. Remember the professional skills for communication? One of the key requirements to score high on communication skill is that all your formats throughout the paper has to be board level quality. All right, so report, paragraph heading 1, center, underline. And all this will be paragraph heading number 3. This one paragraph heading number 3. Internal stakeholders, paragraph heading number 3. External stakeholders, paragraph heading number 3. So all these broad headings, I am increasing the font size. So all these are formats are provided to you. So, time saving techniques. So this is how it looks. I'll show you how it looks. Can you see? This is how the examiner will see the preview report, big, large in the center, to, from, subject, date, introduction, then 3 broad headings. We will have subheadings or tables underneath it, and then the closure. Visually it should look bold, nicely formatted, attractive and professional. Okay. Now, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders and sources of, so we will not be doing this portion tonight, okay? But this, I just included it because I wanted to show you the format, really focusing on internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. Now I will close this. My template is ready. It will auto save, okay? I will just close it. Now let's read the scenario. I want you to read the scenario, understand the company, and try to identify 2, 3, 4 internal stakeholders and 2, 3, 4 external stakeholders of this company. Do you remember the list? Who are the 6? Let me know the 6 internal stakeholders. Six internal stakeholders, remember? Shareholders, board of directors, employees, trade unions, and then in a voluntary setting there you might see a board of trustees and volunteers. 6, okay? Yeah, that's better. Write comma, comma, comma. Now, remind me of 6 external stakeholders, and please write in one sentence, okay? Give me 6 external stakeholders, but in one chat, in one sentence. You can put comma, comma. Six, huh? Geoda, honestly, I don't know. I've not heard of this before, yeah. Something wrong with your CB platform, maybe log out and log in again. All right, so remember this list of external stakeholders, right? Now, I want you to always first read the overview. So please read this overview. It is a one-pager. It will tell you about the organization. And if you happen to identify any stakeholder from this exhibit, then just shade it yellow. Time starts now. It's a charity. Okay, very good. Okay, guys, you can read. All right. And once you have done your reading, please type done, so that I know that you have done with the exhibit 1. I'm waiting. Once you have read reading, please type done. Okay. So I don't want to go into a lot of details because we are just focusing on question number 1A, but it is a charity. Okay. So charity means that there might be board of trustees, there might be donors, there might be volunteers, all those extra things, all those extra things which pertains to charity will kick in. Beneficiaries and donors and board of trustees, right? So it's a charity in the north of Seville. They have an executive board, they have a board of trustee, they are running courses, so they have these participants who pay course fees, and then they get these fundings or grants from the Civil Council, which is the government body, I believe. Interesting. Were you able to identify few stakeholders from this exhibit? Keep in mind those lists. Okay, let's go one by one. So charity, I mean, this was just for the background. There's an executive board, internal or external? What do you think? Internal or external? So let me reduce the size. Let me open my Word document, put it parallel so that I can easily copy paste stuff. So executive board, internal or external? Internal. Okay, I'll paste it here. Who else? Or in fact, let me make a table first. You know how to insert a table? This is the table icon here. Click here, table. I need 2 columns and let's say 5 rows, 6 rows or 6 rows. Okay. And here also insert table, 6 rows. What will be what should be mentioned on the left side? Stakeholder, and here what we will mention? Is that clear? The question says assess the stakeholders. So stakeholder assessment is here, and recommend ways of managing them. So managing them or recommendation, whatever you want to write. Is that clear? You have to mention what the columns are. Let's beautify it. I just select paragraph 4 and center. Nice. I just copy this. I go to here. I paste it here. Does it look okay? Now, the first stakeholder I found was executive board. So let me copy it. Control C. The first one is executive board. What about board of trustees? Again, they are what about participants? So we are offering courses and there are participants who pay for our courses. Are they like our customers, right? We charge them some money to take the courses. So they are our beneficiaries or customers. I don't like to call them customers because we're a charity organization, but can I say beneficiary? Because in a charitable organization, we call them participants. All right. So internal or external? Customers are internal or external. So I'll just call them participants. Okay. But I will put it under here, participants. No. What about civil council? You think it's a stakeholder like government? Civil counsel. Done. So we were able to identify 4. So what does civil counsel does? It provides us, I'll just copy it here. Civil counsel provides financial support. Participants pay a course fee. I'll just copy it here. Later on, I can delete or I can edit. But right now, I'm just copy pasting some interesting information about those stakeholders. Board of Trustees to oversee NCCP. And there's an executive board of 4 members. Got it? Okay, I close it. Just have a look at the answer. So guys, is the approach clear? That I am reading the exhibit, and wherever I find something which I can use in my answer, I just copy paste it under my template. Once I'm done with copy pasting, I will then start editing. I might delete few stuff, I might edit few stuff, but more importantly, I will have to add my own comments and recommendations. Please, guys, any questions so far? I want a yes or a no before I proceed. This is very, very foundational. Any questions, yes or no? Richard, what about Richard? Okay. So Richard was part of Board of Trustees, right? And he is no more there. Okay, now let's read. Let's close this Word document. I want you to open up Exhibit 2. Okay. So this one is about NCCP, ignore it. Okay. Courses we offer. So this is about the courses. So there are 4 courses they are offering, just ignore it. Please, can you read this portion and identify me, get me some more details about some stakeholders? I'm done with, you guys can take 20 more seconds. Yeah. And guys, okay, so there are paid employees and unpaid volunteers. Let me look at my answer sheet. So I have not covered paid employees. Let me copy this. Control C. So there are paid employees and unpaid volunteers. Okay. What else is there? Alongside 4 directors and 12 paid employees. So how many there are? There are 12 paid employees. Okay, I got some statistics, so I'll just 12 paid employees. Each department benefits from the work of unpaid volunteers. We could not manage without the support of our wonderful volunteers. Let's copy this. Where do we copy this? Under volunteers. Each department benefits from the work of unpaid volunteers. We could not manage without the support of our volunteers. I'm just copy pasting right now. Later on, I might delete or edit or add my own comments. And then it says almost all our courses are taught by paid freelance tutors. Interesting. Can we treat them as our stakeholder, like supplier? So on one hand, the students are our customers, and who's teaching them? We are using paid freelance tutors. So can they be external stakeholders? Like, because they are freelance, they're not our employees. So maybe they are free external stakeholders. Later on, we'll use paid freelance tutors. Internal or external? I'll put it under external. And let me copy paste their involvement as well. Okay, here you go. Looks good, boy, looks good. The answer is shaping up slowly and gradually. Okay. Rukaya, I told you in my previous slide that volunteers are internal. So why didn't you ask this question at that time? Volunteers technically are external, but please, because they are like our employees, they are working for us. That is why I am taking them as internal. Okay. Please stick to the lecture. Any more? So, Arman, what are you saying? Volunteers could be freelance tutors? Excuse me. Just keep it simple, guys. Don't mix freelance tutors with volunteers. They are our paid field. All right, so we are done with this exhibit. Let's move on. Now, most important exhibit, exhibit 3. So the first 2 exhibits, we just gathered some very basic information. I think exhibit number 3 is the most relevant exhibit for this requirement. So we will really enjoy looking at it. So what is exhibit 3? It is NCCP's annual performance data for year ending 31st March. It is extract from income and expenditure. Interesting. So, okay, CFOs, you guys are numbers experts, CFOs, right? So let's look at 3, 4, and 5, 3-year data. What's happening with total income? Is it total income is increasing or decreasing? I'm just looking at the big picture right now. Total income is slightly increased. What's happening to the expenses? The expenses have significantly increased. That is not in proportion to the increase. The expenses have increased in more proportion as compared to increase in revenue, and hence, oh my God, what's happening with the bottom line? So we were in good profit in 20x3, and then suddenly we went into a loss, And then next year, our loss, in fact, almost doubled. Is this a good direction for the charity that the losses, profits are falling and losses are increasing? What if you extrapolate? Do you think it's giving a good direction? What will happen if they continue making losses? What will be the ultimate outcome? What do you think? What do you think? If it's a charity, right? They can't afford to incur losses. And if this continues, probably it's a matter of time that they will just go into financial bankruptcy, cash flow issues, and boom. Not good, not good. So you think it is the job of the CFO to inform this or educate this to the board? The board is not numbers people. The board is not numbers people, but you guys are numbers. You can see the board is saying, oh, the revenue is increasing. That's good. But you will say, hey, the expenses are increasing in more proportion, and hence our profits are converting into losses. And if this trend continues, boom, we will all lose our job. Anyway, okay, this is nothing to do. This had nothing to do with our question number 1A, but I just wanted to demonstrate to you, this is how a CFO look at things, the big picture, the strategic picture, and then educates the board of the risks and the issues. Okay, is that clear? Now, so what are my various sources of income? Let's look at the latest year. Okay, latest year, my source, I have council funding. What is council funding? That council funding, a government body, right? What was the name of that council? It was somewhere in here. Civil council, okay. So council funding, corporate donations, personal donations, and course fees. What do you mean by course fees? Is this the one which is paid by the participants to attend our courses? So we have 4 sources of income, A, B, C, D. And then there's some expenditure, no breakup is given. Our expenditure is more than our revenue, and hence we incurred deficit. Now, can you tell me which one is our largest source of revenue? Which revenue source is our largest? Course fees, followed by council funding, followed by corporate donations. And this personal donation is extremely small. It is immaterial, right? You understand the word materiality, right? Now, corporate donors and personal donors, do you think these are stakeholders? You remember the lecture that in a charitable organization, there will be donors. You will receive donations, remember? So corporate donations will be coming from corporate donors, and personal donations will be coming from personal donors or individual donors, right? Should we include them in our list of stakeholders? Internal, external, I think external. Corporate donors and done. So you see, when you're identifying the stakeholders, you're automatically getting analysis skills, because analysis skills wanted you to identify blah, blah, blah. So we are, investigating and identifying who our stakeholders are. So automatically you are getting analysis marks. Now let's read the commentary. I want you to Note number 1, council funding. So can you see that council funding is reducing over the passage? It was 450, then it went down to 435, then it went down to 420. So council funding is reducing. Please read note number 1. Your time starts now. And now from this, we will start forming our answers. Once you are done, please type that. Just read note 1. Twenty more seconds. All right. Yes, Bloom, it's all right. I was just making a small point. So what is it that this council is getting tougher? Huh? So number 1, first of all, their funding is reducing because due to a reduction in funding from central government. So council's own funding is reducing, like the money which they are getting from the central government, that's going down. So council itself is able to pay less money, and then they attach specific conditions to the funding. So council's funding is not free funding. There are certain specific conditions. If you fulfill those conditions, you will get funding. If you don't fulfill those conditions, you will be screwed. You will not get funding. And the council has clearly indicated that the future funding will be conditional on NCCP demonstrating appropriate internal controls to make the best use of any money provided. Interesting. Let me just copy paste a little bit of this. See, what document, council funding. So guys, how do you assess the power and interest, and how should we handle council? Let's in light of this, where have I mentioned government? What do you think? Which box should we allocate to this council funding? Key player, or keep satisfied, or keep informed, or minimum? How should we manage them? How should we treat them? Where should we classify them? Key players, idiot. Which name have I mentioned here? Who have I mentioned here in key players? Only BOT and BOD. So please be very careful, okay? Where is government in this model? I'm trying to make your life easy by giving you all this list beforehand, but you don't seem to follow it. Where is government here? Let's try to fit council under keep satisfied. Okay, so do you think civil council has high power? It's high power. How? How does he have high power? Because A, it's the council, it's a government thing. And also, you know, they provide us substantial funding, right? They provide us substantial. Is it substantial? Yeah, I think. So number one is corporate donations, but number two is council funding. Yes. So if they withdraw, if they stop their funding, if they stop their funding, what will happen? We will be screwed, right? We will lose a very important source of income, and if they stop, we might go bankrupt. We might go going concern. Because already we are struggling. And do we need to satisfy them? Do we need to keep them happy? If we want them to continue funding us, then do we have to fulfill their expectations, their requirements, their conditions? Because if we don't do that, so that's the whole purpose of keep satisfied, right? So keep satisfied are people with whom you cannot mess up. Because if you mess up with these people and they walk away, you will be screwed. You understand? Very good. So now, so this is all you need to explain here. So first, I've explained that I just copy pasted some stuff. Now we will say that council has high power. What do you think? As it is a regulatory body. Regulatory means a government body. Also, it contributes a significant amount of funding to can I say to us or to you? What do you think? To us or to you? Which language, which tone? What's my role? I'm internal or external? I'm an external consultant, so I will use a third person language. Very good. These are little communication skills marks. Also, it contributes a significant amount of funding to, you can say you or you can say NCCP. Do we know how much? When I say significant amount of funding, so do we know how much it contributes to our funding? Can we calculate its contribution in terms of percentage? Because the board might ask, right? How much is significant? So do we know some financials? Yeah, I think the financials were given. So they are giving us 420 out of 1351. So I think somebody is saying 30%. Okay, 420 divided by 1351. Yeah, 31%. So I will say funding reserve into 0x5 council contribution was 31% in your total income, which is quite substantial. Is that okay? I think that's enough assessment. Now, what do you recommend? What do you recommend? How do we handle them? If council stops providing financial support, what will happen? NCCP will face severe financial crisis. Hence, it shows that council has high power. Accordingly, he should keep them satisfied. How? By making sure that all the conditions required by the council are fulfilled by NCCP. That's it. So you see, this little portion was copy pasted, and then I shared my own thoughts based on this information. I shared my own thoughts, and then I am advising the board how to handle this stakeholder. This stakeholder is important. He is keep satisfied. If he goes away, we are screwed. So let's handle him with care and satisfy them. How can we satisfy them? What do they want from us? Internal controls, conditions being met, all those things. Khalas. Oh, did I say we? Oh yeah, not we. You should. Thank you so much. Yeah. Done. Okay. So guys, did you understand the approach? The main thing is approach. Yes, Prime, you're right. I did not mention the interest because this was very clear that it was a keep satisfied thing. So I just avoided it. I also need to make sure that my answer is not getting out of size because of time management. Here, the council, the power is more important, right? So I stressed about the power and I just ignored the interest bit. Or if you want, you can just write one liner that on the other hand, their interest seems to be low. Hence, they need to be keep satisfied. Okay, happy? Good. Okay, let's close this. Go to corporate donations. Note number 2. So what's happening with corporate donations? 389, 348, 360. So it went down a bit and then increased a bit, but it's still lower than 389. Okay, please read corporate donations and then we'll decide what to do with them. Done. Very good. So I think corporate donations will also be similar to the council. Their contribution is, oh my God, their contribution is 360 divided by 1351, 27%. Can we mess with them? No, right? Because again, they are corporate donors. We rely heavily on them. 27% of our income is dependent on. Should we keep them satisfied? Absolutely, yes. He's our major donor, right? How can we satisfy them? Tell me. All corporate donors are based in civil and many have long-lasting relationships which date back to Richard's time. These corporate donors who were approached on a personal basis are friends or colleagues of the trustees or executive directors. So most of these donations are based on a relationship. As it goes back to Richard's time, also they are friends with our trustees and this and that. What do we need to do? Tell me. How can we keep them satisfied? Yes, by engaging with them, making sure that our maintaining good relationships with them. That's one. And then we can demonstrate our performance as well. We should keep them up to date about how their money is being used, and the charitable purpose, and then we keep on meeting them and maintaining our relationships. So yeah, how do we manage them? Continuous, interaction and relationship building and demonstrating our achievements. Don't you think this is common sense, or is it too technical? Don't forget about Richard. So yes, Richard is the main guy. So we have to make sure that Richard is always in the picture and he doesn't lose contact with all these guys. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'm not drafting it now. I just want you to understand. So corporate donors, you can copy it a little bit from here. I can remove little bit of stuff. Trust. And then you can write that their contribution to revenue is quite significant. 27% of the revenue is coming from them. And then in how do you manage them? You will say that they are we need to manage the relationship. We have to make sure that we maintain or continuously maintain strong relationship with all our corporate donors, including Richard, and all the directors and trustees should be in regular touch with the corporate donors, and you should be able to demonstrate achievements and good performance so that these donors continue to support the charity. This is how we actually talk in the boardroom. Okay, This is how in real boardroom we talk like this. That okay, this is the stakeholder. Who's going to deal with them? How do we manage them? Should we ignore them? Should we satisfy them? Should we just keep them informed? This is common sense. No, Duncan, please don't confuse things here. Huh? Do not talk about responsible leadership here. It's not the requirement. The requirement is assess the stakeholders and how we manage them. Yeah, yes, Aman, you're correct. Okay, now what else? Where is that exhibit here? Personal donations. What is the personal donation? 38, 36, 35. Very, very small, eh? Can you read the personal donation and then we will decide whether they are key players or keep satisfied or keep informed or minimum effort. Are they really material enough? Their power is high or low? So their power is definitely low, right? These are individual donors. They all contribute like $24 as the average. Very small contribution in our total income. Definitely their power is low. Either we can do minimum effort, or if we want to respect them, nonetheless, they are our donors, they are our well-wishers. So maybe keep informed. Up to you guys. Or I can do both. I can say that although their size is so small that we just need to do minimum effort. However, because they are our donors and because of the bad publicity in the media, they are taking keen interest in our operations. So we may decide to keep them informed. Both sides. Otherwise, whatever you like, minimum effort is also correct. Keep informed is also correct. It all depends how you justify or support your assessment. No issue. You can either select one of them, but if I was there in the boardroom, I would have suggested minimum, but then I would have said, let's go for keep satisfied. Yes. So both are correct. You guys, whatever you can safely argue or defend, go for that. Yes, Pritish, absolutely correct. Got it? Do you understand now how there is no rocket science? It's all subjective. It's all how you decide, how you feel that stakeholder, how important that stakeholder is to you. Yes, Yusuf, absolutely correct. Just elaborate a bit. You have to first mention, Yusuf, you have to mention in the recommendation minimum effort or keep informed. So guys, all of you, you have to mention the word, these words in your recommendation. These are the 4 standard words: key players, keep satisfied, minimum effort, keep informed. You should mention these words in your recommendation, and then you can elaborate on that further, how you can engage or interact with that, what needs to be done. But these words are very important. Okay. So now course fee participants. What's happening with course fees? Oh my God, it's increasing. It's increasing very healthy. 457, 491, and then 536. So very good. And course fees, number one is increasing. Number two, it is the largest contributor to our total income. Oh my God. Please read course fees. Please read this. Harsh, again, you are making the same mistake. How can they be key players? I've always mentioned key players are board of trustees, board of directors. Done? Okay, tell me. Look at this model first. Where have I mentioned customers? Where have I mentioned customers? Keep satisfied. I've also mentioned here. I will go for keep informed. Why? Why? Customers are keep informed. Only a major customer, not all customers, only a significant major customer, one major customer, let's say, in my company, there is one customer who accounts for 40% of my total revenue. That major customer will go into keep satisfied, but rest all the customers keep informed, because customers are individual customers, right? They don't have collective power. If 10 customers leaves you today, nothing will happen. Yes, very good, Ali Abbas. Ali Abbas is saying they are individual participants and hence will have no. So if 10 participants decides not to study with you, my foot. I think keep informed, and they are our customers, but they're all individual. They are not one unit, right? They're all individuals, and collectively their revenue is big, but but not all of them will go together, right? Maybe 5, 10 will go here and there, doesn't matter. So their power is low. Individual power is low. And I don't think they will work to collaborate collectively. But they are obviously high on interest because they are paying money, they're attending your courses. So how can we, keep them informed? How can we handle them? They are our customers. So think they are my customers. So how do you treat your customers? Tell me. How do you treat your customers? Or how should you treat your customers? Should we get feedbacks from them? Should we take feedbacks from our customers? Don't you think it would be nice? Don't you think we provide them nice service? We'll try our best to provide them nice. Don't use the word keep satisfied, otherwise it will confuse with that box. We'll try to get their, we can do surveys, we can identify their needs, we can take their feedbacks. If they have any complaints, we will be happy to, address those issues and complaints, and the classroom environment and teacher quality, the usual stuff. This is where we will handle our participants, that we will provide them with good quality teachers with good quality teaching environment. We should take their feedbacks. We should address their complaints as much as possible. Khalas. But should I start dancing, belly dancing in front of them? Should I start seducing them? No. But if someone tells me start belly dancing in front of corporate donors, if the corporate donors tell me dance, will I dance? Yes. If the council says dance, I will dance. But this individual customer will say dance, I will say get lost. You see? This is how we think. This is the actual thought process, Baba. This is how you can decide who's important and who's not important. There's nothing in the model. It's all here, common sense. Okay, got it? Okay, let's speed up now. Do you understand now? Let's speed up. Okay. So we talked mostly about individual personal. We will say keep. Individual personal person donor. We will say keep. We said minimum effort, or most people said keep informed because now they are taking keen interest. Corporate donors, we said keep satisfied. Paid freelance tutors. What do you think? Maybe minimum effort or keep satisfied. Whatever you think is. I'm sure there are a lot of tutors available in the market. They're all freelance. So if he goes, I can get another freelance teacher, not a problem. So I think minimum effort is okay. Not a very hi-fi thing. Okay. So we did this. Participants pay participants. We did participants. Yeah, participants is keep satisfied. Oh no, keep informed. Now let's come here. The internal one. Board of Trustees. Definitely. And executive board is also, because these are the people who are running the show for us. So board of trustees are important because, you know, a lot of donors have relationship with these guys. So if they go, we are screwed if the trustees goes. Also, they provide leadership, high level strategies. They are very interested in the success of the board of the company. Similarly, executive board, they provide leadership, day-to-day oversee of the company, implementation, execution of all the strategies. Also, they have connections with the donors. So both of them are key players. And how should we handle them? We have to, you know, make sure that they are fully involved in strategies, proper approvals. Nothing is done without their approval. You understand? So all major activity, major decision has to be approved by the board of trustees and the executive board. So you don't have to elaborate a lot on this because it is understood that these guys are key players. As long as you write the word key players and explain it a bit that, you know, these are people who are running the NCCP charity, they provide leadership, they provide strategies, they implement, they manage the stakeholders, they manage the donors, hence they are key players. And NCCP should, you know, make sure that they don't resign, they don't go, there's no turnover, they are motivated and they keep working. Okay, paid employees, tell me. They have 12 paid employees. And then they have volunteers. What do you think? Paid employees, as per the model. Where do you see employees? Yeah. So majority stakeholders are keep informed. So very simple. We will say we are employees. They have low power, but you know, obviously they are employees, as they are highly interested in the company. We have to keep them informed. Similarly, for volunteers, we really benefit from the volunteers. Why do we have volunteers? Because we are a charity. We cannot afford, a lot of paid staff. So we are relying on volunteers. So there is dependency on volunteers, and we appreciate that. And we also, need to keep them informed about various things. We can understand their requirements, and we just, engage with them. Okay. Now, you got it, right? You got this thing. One thing is there is exhibit 8 staff survey was given. Can we use staff survey somewhere? Maybe in this part, employees and volunteers. So do you know what is a staff survey? So what is Abraham's question? Should we write the BOD as a stakeholder when we report it to them? Yes, why not? You are an external consultant. Sir, how to determine whether major or minor? If there is any single major customer, information will be given to you in the scenario. That, out of all our customers, there is one major customer who accounts for X percentage of the sale. But if there is no mention of any single major customer, then you assume that they're all, individual split customers. How many points needed for this question? Excellent question, Yusuf. I will discuss this tomorrow. How do we decide the number of points? For this particular question, we will follow 4 marks for each point. 4 marks. So the question was 20 marks. 20 marks was it? So yeah, we need to speak about 5 stakeholders, maximum 6. Okay, but I will discuss this in detail tomorrow. Look, I just wanted to show you the staff survey thing. This kind of exhibit is given to you. Now, no chapter can teach you how to understand this. It is just common sense. You see, look at the exhibit. So this year's survey was issued to staff on 1st June and the results have just been made available. It was given to all staff, both paid and unpaid. As in previous years, a response rate of 90% was achieved. How happy are you to work at NCCP? Oh my God, last year 82% people were happy. This year only 42% were happy. Last year 0% was unhappy, which was very good. And this year 31% is unhappy. Is this good or bad? This survey, the trend, the direction, is it good or bad? It's alarming, right? Oh my God, what's happening with the staff? Suddenly in 1 year, why 31% is unhappy? Something must have happened, right? Do you feel valued and respected at work? Oh my God, same. Yes has reduced by 50% and never has increased. Oh my God. Do you see yourself working here in 1 year's time? Oh my God, definitely has gone down by half and no has gone down. Oh, so staff are really demotivated, frustrated, and probably they might go. What's happening? So you will read, you need to read these comments here, and then from here we can pick up 1, 2, big points and we can use it in our stakeholder portion of staff and volunteers. Okay. So again, very, very straightforward, logical exhibits are given. You just need to what I'm trying to say is don't get in too much into chapters and books and theory. It's a very practical paper, very boardroom oriented. Remember, I mentioned in the start boardroom paper. Yes, this is the boardroom paper where you have to feel like a CFO and then start discussing with the other directors. What is this? Why is this? What needs to be done? Okay, don't think like an accountant. Otherwise, you will never pass this paper. Okay, wait, let me stop sharing and let me take some questions before I sign off. Sir, if you don't cover all stuff but explain 5 relevant points, what is correct? Yes. Well, Yusuf, you just talk about 5 or 6 points. Not all. It all depends on the marks, okay? You're not supposed to talk about all the things in the exam. So you prioritize, you first decide how many points you need to talk about, obviously based on the marks, and then you pick up the top 2, top 4 things you want to do. No, Fatima, this is a webinar. There's no homework here. But Fatima, in my paid batch, we will be doing this. Yeah, from the survey, can we write 1 point? Yeah. That's enough. Even if you write 1 point from the survey, that's good because you cannot ignore the survey. Cannot ignore the survey, right? Okay. Wait. Last thing. Let me share my screen. Where is it? I want to. So guys, so we did this question. So those of you who are in my paid batch, right? This message is not for you. But those of you who are not in my paid batch for September, you're all like self-study students. Do you think tonight's practice session was helpful? Do you understand how we link, how we format, and how we draft our answers? You think this live practice was useful to you? If yes, my formal revision practice classes are starting from 10th of August. Paid students also wait. I will share the schedule. From 10th of August, we will be doing 5 full-fledged SBL case study. We will solve like this, full case studies. Okay. We will also have 3 mock exams under strict exam conditions. And out of that 3 mocks, I will check 1 mock and all the classes will be recorded for later viewing. And 2 days before the paper, I will organize a grand revision for my paid students. And the investment for this revision session, if you are not enrolled, if you are not part of my paid batch, this is the investment. Those of you who are my paid students, regular batch or reset batch, all this is included in your package. Okay, but those of you who have not yet enrolled in any of my batches, then you can enroll in my revision batch. You can message on this number for more details. This is the schedule for revision classes. So my paid students, you guys as well, this is the schedule which I will share on the paid group. Okay, if you look at the schedule, 5th and 6th is the webinar. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we will do co-fold. So we will spend 2 days on 1 case study. Friday, we will take a rest. And then Saturday, Sunday, we will do another question. Then Monday, rest. Tuesday, Wednesday, another question. Wednesday, Thursday, rest. And Friday, I will take your first mock. Okay. And then Monday, Tuesday, another question. Then Thursday, Friday, mock number 2. Then Sunday, Monday, another question. And then Wednesday, Thursday, your mock number 3, followed by grand revision on 3rd of September. So this is the schedule for the month of August. From 10th August onward, these classes will be at 8 p.m. till almost midnight Pakistan time. So guys, so my paid students, I will share this with you right now. And those of you who want to enlist, enroll with this, please, you can message my coordinator. With this, I can sign off. Sunday, yes, Rukaiya, on this Sunday, we will have our normal paid class. WhatsApp group link, okay, wait. Please take a screenshot. So if you want to join WhatsApp group, please message on this number. Tell him to join you on the WhatsApp group. For any admission or course details, this is my coordinator and this is my own personal number. All right, guys, I hope tonight's session was helpful and useful, especially to self-study students and of course my paid students. I will now see you guys tomorrow 8 p.m. Tomorrow I will start with exam techniques, and then we will do those complicated topics like social impact, environmental impact, integrated reporting, technical article, the second article, all those things. Okay, so tomorrow is another big day. So until tomorrow, you guys take care and good night. Bye-bye. Yes, Pratibha, you want to ask something?
Sir, sorry, I couldn't see the screen on my mobile. So, would it be possible for
I,
you to send the schedule over the WhatsApp group?
I will. On which are you in the paid group?
No, I'm not.
Oh no, then I won't be able to share there. Can you message me one-to-one
Yeah,
on
sure,
my
I'll do that.
WhatsApp? Just write to me. I will share there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.